welcome everyone to the first Sephardic conversation, and we are very, very honored to welcome Gal Tamir from Al Fado, who's going to talk about their creation in Ladino and Fado. It's going to take approximately 30 minutes, and we will open to questions and answers. We will start with Gal, as I just said, and the very famous Kobi Zarko that I have the pleasure to know for the first time. And we will explore the Sephardic music in general with him, old and new one. As he clearly said, he loves the old one. It's the best. And we will talk about the particular song called Tres Hermanicas, which you are releasing a video now, Al Fado, together with us, Brightmed, on different platforms, Instagram and Facebook right now. So it's going to be live, and our gift to everyone just after or during the conversation. So let's start with you, Gal. If you don't mind, you created a band in Portugal called Al Fado with apparently musicians from a very, very strong musical background and diverse as well, such as jazz, fusion, and R&B, if I understood correctly. And you all currently enriching this Sephardic gender. How did you feel or discover that there was this evidence of trying to bridge the two, the Fado and the Sephardic music?
First of all, I didn't create it myself. It's a creation of the whole group. And along the process, this is something which we are sticking to all the time, both in the artistic manner, but also with the logistics and anything practical that needs to be done. So this goes to all the members of our musical ensemble. About the bridging of the styles, this is something that kind of happened naturally when we started creating this idea. The first idea was to create our own project of Ladino music, but it felt very important to me as a newcomer to Portugal. But I'm sure that also to at least two other members of our group that are native Portuguese, it felt very, very natural and important for us to include the local tradition of Fado music. That's why we decided we are going to experiment and explore both styles of music and both languages. They are different languages and they are different styles of music, and they come from different cultural backgrounds. But the more we explore them, we find connections, thematic connections, cultural connections, geographical connections, and linguistic connections. For me, I would say that unlike many other people that are dealing with Ladino, Ladino is not something that I bring from home. Although I am Jewish and I am from Israel and I heard Ladino as a child and growing up, this is not something that comes from my family, because as long as we know, we are not Sephardi Jews. So I should be singing in Yiddish, actually. So for me to come to Ladino is actually after I started speaking Portuguese. When I was traveling in Brazil and in Portugal, I was already speaking Portuguese, and then I started revealing to the profundity the Ladino. So I land on Ladino from Portuguese. And it seems like they live together very comfortably. And we are not trying to enforce ourselves to create exact, authentic cover versions of Ladino or Fado. We are trying to take these materials and mix them in a bowl of soup and create something which is a melting pot of these two different styles. Um, Kobe will probably later on will be able to also expand and say that same as Ladino, also Fado, they don't only come from one source, they come from different sources. So it's not even saying two styles, because there are so many styles of music that originate from this term Ladino and also from the term of Fado. They have a lot of common roots, but they are not one thing only. So I feel that the connection makes sense for us.
And how would you say it's perceived today in the Sephardic world? There's a lot of academic perception of this, and are these people welcoming it nicely, or they think, oh, it's too mixed already for our gender?
I haven't heard um, I haven't heard a lot of antagonism against the fact that we explore different styles of music and offer them together. Um, I could tell you that from the majority of our audience that we met in concerts, listeners, and also from colleagues, I get a lot of support from Fado singers, musicians from Portugal that are really supporting, and they are really receiving and accepting um, our attempt, our offering to the style of Fado. And they are enjoying very much the enrichment of the language through the Ladino. Same with the Ladino. Here and there, yes, I heard some people saying, "Oh, what are you doing? It doesn't sound like it. Like I heard it from my grandmother." Which I have a respect to. I understand that some people, when we are talking about traditional styles of music, traditional cultures, their connection to these materials is a familiar connection. It comes from the family, and I don't feel that we want to uh, to say anything bad about it and to judge it poorly or anything like that. We definitely honor this, and I think Kobe has a lot of this aspect in what he's doing, in what he's offering, because for him it comes from home. But I also feel that we cannot compete in this aspect of music interpretation, cultural interpretation. We try to bring our own angle on those things with a lot of respect. That's what I feel.
Thank you. Kobe, Zarko, you are
Yeah,
quite an institution, in fact, huh? If I understood. You're very well known in Israel, in Greece, in Turkey, and you know even our region very well, I understood. You travel a lot. Can
yeah.
you tell us more about you before going into the heart of the Sephardic music in general?
Well, I was born in Israel. My mother is from Istanbul. My father is from Salonika. And the Ladino or the Espanol, we use the word Espanol in that time. It was my first language. With my grandmother, we call her Nona or Grandmama. Okay, so the first word is Ladino, and I love the music Ladino. I'm born in Haifa, yeah, and I like nowadays. When I was 35 years a manager in the big bank in Israel, in Diamond Exchange, and I decided to begin to sing, and I'm singing, and I'm a singer, and I like very much the kind of las romanzas. Well, there's the romanzas, there's the songs, there's a liturgic song, and there's a nonsense songs. all you can find it in the Ladino music. I like the way of the authentic one. And I love the old romances, who is not a Jewish culture. It's not a Jewish culture at all. But we kept it. We kept it as a big, big treasure. And we took this language with us to the Ottoman Empire, and then to America later. And from the Ottoman Empire later, after the Second World War, the big immigration to Israel, the Ladino little bit died. And before 40, 35 years, it became again a big new one. You can find a lot of students in Ladino in the university, yeah, singers, a writer, everything you want. It's a big culture, not known so much in the world. In Israel, yes, we are the big communication, we speak Ladino here. Well, I think I speak Ladino better than English, because this was the first language I heard from my grandmother, and she didn't know any language, solo Español, absolutamente another one, not the Turkish, not the Greek, nothing at all. And so she knows a lot of old words in Old Spanish that the words vanished. But she's got a big, big, good memory. She was my informant, my woman. She's got 24, 25 strophes of one song. Well, this song is an old one, the war between Aragon and Inglaterra. And she's singing it like a soldier. It is well known in Spanish, La Doncella Guerrera. That's the name of it. And she wasn't neither in Aragon, neither in London. But she sang, Pregonechó el buen rey por la ciudad de Aragón, el que tiene y yo varón, a la guerra lo mando. Y el rey de Inglaterra y yo no tenía, no, solo 7 y ya hembras, sin ningún hijo varón. Etc. And she's going to the war, and the son of the king of Aragon, when he discovered that he's a lady, a brave lady, he immediately passed away. And this is an old song, 300 years, more than 300 years. And she kept it in her mind, okay? And that's what I know. And I love all those romances. I have to sing at least once a day, one romance. Well, this is about the romances. This one I know, although 11 strophes of this one. Yeah. And they told me in Spain that we've got here in Israel the full romancer. They didn't find it in other place. Well, okay. Kobi Zarko, my name, the famous one that I know was the navigator João Gonçalves de Zarco, who discovered the island of Madeira Island. This is my family. Good. Well, in Spain, we used to say, en la palma la tengo la sangre real. This is I am, a singer, a guide tours, anything you want, in Ladino.
Thank you, and for singing as well. So, what do you think? We clearly understand that you love this Ladino music, and the roots are so big, and your grandma is so important. What do you think about the new production of Ladino music, or all the bridges such as the Alfado one? Have you got an opinion about this? Are you happy about
Everything,
these developments?
yeah, everything that we've done in this camp, it's good one. Never mind. It can be Fado, it can be Oriental. Never mind. It can be with the Greek music. Todo el tiempo. When the Ladino, when somebody sing Ladino, never mind the other thing. He's singing Ladino. The music, the interpretation, the band, it's good. No, not only the authentic one. The new one, it will be continue. The authentic, I don't know. Maybe yes, maybe no.
We promised the audience, and on social media, it's very, very successful actually, to release a video as we speak, made by Alfado, about Tres Hermanicas, which is a very specific song as well.
Yeah.
They started to release last week a song called Barco Negro, which is a very famous Fado song. And they will release another one next week, but we cannot say or tell the title. What do you think about Tres Hermanicas? And please, Gal, with pleasure, if you don't mind, to tell us or maybe give us a flavor of how it sounds.
You want me a flavor live, or do you want to?
I'm trying officially to trap you. Yes.
Kobe, do you want to do me one strophe and you the second?
Bueno.
Tres hermanicas eran, blancas de rosa y ramas de flor. Tres hermanicas eran, tres hermanicas son. Tres hermanicas eran, tres hermanicas son.
Las dos eran casadas, blancas de rosa y ramas de flor. Las dos eran casadas, la chica en perdición. Las dos eran casadas, la chica en perdición. Gal. Continue.
That's it. We don't give you more.
I don't know.
Now they need to go and watch it.
I don't know if you plan to show a few seconds, Jose Luis, or not, but feel free to show it if you can. If not, so what can we say about this particular song, Kobe?
This one is the romanza. It belongs to it's not from Spain. There's not a Christian version of that. Neither Morocco, neither Marruecos Español. It's from the Ottoman Empire, and it's speaking about three daughters. Two of them are married, and the third one, her father didn't like her fiancé, her lover boy. Okay, he didn't like her, and he told her, leave him. But she refused. She refused, and her father was very, very angry about his daughter. And he put her in a tower in the middle of the sea, okay? So nobody can get her. You can find it, such a tower in the Bosphorus. It's called in Turkish, the Tower of the Daughter, the Kiz Kulesi. Kiz Kulesi is the Turkish one. This is another legend about the daughter of the Sultan. But although his father was very angry, so he put it in the middle, and we find it in the Bible, the same story with King Solomon and his daughter too. The same thing, and in the Greek legend of Hera and Leander. You can find both of them, three of them. Well, Varon, her lover boy, he decided to swim to her, to the daughter, okay? His body was the boat, that the song says. His hands are the paddles, the paddle. And when he arrived to the bottom of the tower, she took her hair, the big fine hairs, and she put him up. She gave him, she prepared him a good supper. She cleansed him, and she put him in a golden chair. Her fiancé, yeah. But there's two things. One version of that say the father insists after he heard that to suicide himself, and his daughter stops her father from doing that. The second one, the version is saying that the father tried to kill his daughter, but her lover saved her. And the third one, the third unknown version, tells that arrived, Varon, the lover, arrived after swimming. He climbs up, he took the ring, he put in the finger, and he collapsed. That's the third version.
Anyway, it's a big melodrama. It's a big telenovela.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything else than some dramas, but Gal, thank you so much, Kobe, for these details. Gal, do you mind to say some words about your partners in the band? They are just amazing, and everyone is very unique. I think some of them are with us in the call, but
yes,
if you don't mind to talk about them.
Sure. My fellow pioneer of the band is also an Israeli person, a guy that lives in Portugal for a long time, has lived here before I came here. His name is Avishai Bak, and he's our bass player. Actually, he's the one that came up with this idea to the ensemble. And he had no connection to world music or to Ladino. He used to play in projects of R&B and hip hop music, and then he came up with this idea when he met me. I don't know why. And the guy that's in the conversation here now, listening to us, Diogo Melo de Carvalho, is our percussion player. He also plays melodica sometimes. And Diogo just arrived back when we started building up the project from studying in London. He came back to Portugal. And again, I don't think Diogo had anything to do with Ladino or this type of music. He's doing different projects. Some of them are more like rock and roll and folk music. And he has his own projects that are more about transcendental music and spiritual music that he creates with different types of instruments. He incorporates a lot of instruments that are from the Far East as well, like tablas that he brought to the music that we are doing, which are not something you see a lot in Ladino music, especially not in Fado music. And this is Diogo, and our guitarist, his name is João Diogo Roque, and he's mostly coming from the background of jazz music, and writes his own material as well. So he has his own project that he's promoting and performing in Portugal, outside of Portugal for a long time. And this is our group. I'd like just a small word of our interpretation about Tres Hermanicas, about the song that we were talking about. So I feel in a way that, I saw the text of Tres Hermanicas. Now, Tres Hermanicas, the authentic, the original version, has a specific tempo that people know. It's based on a triangular tempo rhythm, and because of the story and because of its complexity and the cheekiness of the young girl that didn't do exactly what her father wanted her to do, this kind of like spiked me to do some more experimenting in terms of the musical interpretation. And that's why we took it like a step further and try to be cheeky about the interpretation. It has to do with the lyrics. It has to do with the story, actually. So this is just like something small that I wanted to add.
Would you like us to show the first seconds?
Yeah, sure, of
It's
course.
okay. We would love to see that
Of
screen.
course. Not too
And
much.
the rest will be on the social media, obviously. So here we are.
Tres hermanicas eran blancas de rosa y ramas de flor. Tres hermanicas eran, tres hermanicas son. Tres hermanicas eran, tres hermanicas son. Las dos eran casadas, blancas de rosa y ramas de flor. Las dos eran casadas, la una se perdió. Las dos eran casadas, la una se perdió. Su padre con vergüenza, blancas de rosa y ramas de flor.
Bravo, bravo.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you want the full version, it's online as we speak. It has just been launched. If you have some questions, we'll be very happy. And if you don't mind, I'm going to just surprise someone who's in the audience called Araceli Tsigane. I'm going to use her as she's honoring us of her presence. She's a very, very strong specialist and very active woman who spoke to me about Kobe Zarko, and I realized she doesn't know him personally. So I will make an official introduction. José Luis, can we unmute Araceli if you don't mind? Araceli,
Hola, hola, Kobe.
you might not have any question, or you might have a question, but again, do you mind to say something about you, Araceli? It was not planned, but I think
About me.
important. Yes.
Okay,
Because
okay.
I tell you a story. 10 years ago, I already knew nothing about music, which is still the case. And I wanted to do something, and this Sephardic music was in the air, and I didn't find it really nice, to be fair. I wanted to do something different. And then I received a call from a woman based in Madrid or around Madrid called Araceli Tsigane. She said, we should do a concert. I said, what? I know nothing about concerts. And I said, and by the way, why do you bother with Sephardic music? What's your? She said, what? This is part of my culture. And that was it. And thanks to her, we created and started a festival with the Sephardic Divas and one of her band 10 years ago. So she's really responsible of all this balagan, as you say in Hebrew, no?
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Who are
Thank you. Who am I? Who am I? Well, thank you, Jan. He is so wonderful and generous with these words about me. Yes, well, I'm not Jewish, I am not Sephardic, I'm Spanish, and as Jan said, I feel this culture as mine. I know there are many things, historical songs that are lost here in Spain and has been kept by Sephardic people for 5 centuries. So it's something really to be proud about. So it's very interesting for me in that side, and also just in the aesthetical and artistical side, because the music is wonderful, and there is so varied music from the Ottoman Empire, but also the Sephardic songs developed in Morocco. It's quite different, but at the end it is like the same source of all of them, but it's very varied, and I feel both of them are part of my history of my people. And probably maybe I have the idea that at least 90% of the Spanish people have some Sephardic ancestors. I'm sure I have something, or I was Jewish in another life, something like that. And well, I work with music, as Jan said. We had a band at that moment called Ophir, and we had a project very crazy to make a concert, a tour, going from Spain to Macedonia, the current republic, not the part of Greece. and they were going to go by road, playing in the way, specifically in the places where there were some Jewish history, some Sephardic history. So they make it the tour from Spain to Macedonia and back. And Jan was a big support of this project that we were able to do, and it was really unbelievable that we made that. They were like 15 days traveling, going and coming back, and it was really thanks to Jan's support. So yes, we have some little story of collaboration.
So,
And
so let me I know you know Gal and Alfado. You saw them at the showcase in November last year, and it was a wonderful, wonderful show. Very short, but wonderful. So let me introduce you, Kobe Zarko, officially. I'm so proud to be able to do this, and because you both, and of course Alfado, are great people, and I'm so honored and so proud that we started the very first Sephardi conversation. It's the first of many, hopefully. And really, Kobe, I don't know if there will be any question, but Kobe, can I give you the last word on what you think about this format, and if you would like to carry on, maybe another trap, as you can see, huh?
Yeah, I love it. I love it, me enamoro. My first time in Spain, when I come to sing, it's in 1992, when it was 500 to the expulsión de los judíos and the investigation of America. It was in Madrid and in Valencia. It was amazing. All the people, they are not Jewish. They are Españoles, and they love it very much. We give them a taste of sing from Marruecos Español, Bulgaria, Turkey, and Greece. Different things. And it was a big evening in Madrid and in Valencia too. That's the first time I've been singing in Spain. I love this culture. I love everybody who's taking part of it. Yes, Mr. Gal and you, young lady, I hope they will continue in that. And I'm so happy to be with you and everything.
Thank you very, very much. So we're going to call it an end. It is clear that for our audience, maybe people don't realize how many Jews left to the Ottoman Empire and how much it was preserved there, more than even the north of Morocco or the north of Africa, where I'm coming from. I mean, I was extremely surprised and impressed to hear Ladino in Turkey, in Istanbul, the first time I went there, and realized this entire world and how much you preserved it until today. So we'll have other sessions, hopefully. Gal Tamir and all Alfado, thank you so much. We are still with you this evening and the rest of the week with the Tres Hermanicas online on the social media. And hopefully the last video, we won't get the title today. Next, to be released next Thursday, correct?
Yeah. So you can find the song that we gave you a peek here on the Facebook page of Gibraltar World Music Festival, and also we will share it on the Alfado page on Facebook. Also, it's released already in our Instagram, in Alfado Instagram. Yes, and next week we have another interesting Ladino surprise.
Thank you very much to all. See you soon to create, hopefully outside as well, and listen to you outside on the stage. Thank you everybody for this, and let's speak next time.